Hello everybody, Drew here, tip of the Mint Flips, where I'm a stay-at-home dad and a part-time eBay reseller. And every 100 subscribers is a giveaway. So if you're watching, make sure you subscribe so you have a chance to win. I've got 8 orders going out today, and up until, I don't know, hour and a half ago, I had 6 orders going out for a, I don't want to say bad sales day, because a couple of them are okay, but it would have been a below average sales day. But those last 2 came in for a bonus $100. So that's great. Went from to all right. I think that's my scale in life. Like somebody's like, hey, how you doing? It's on a gradient scale somewhere between and all right. Somewhere in that area is where I lie day to day. First thing going out today, this is the 3rd time I've sold these. Shipped them out twice. Sold them, shipped them out twice. Had to take a return twice because I had an error in the listing for the size of these B6 Solomon Instinct boots. You'll see I still didn't move that shelf. I am determined to smash into it on camera so that you can all laugh at me. Who buys ski boots this time of year? I don't know. At this point, I'm just breaking even. And the issue was that I have no idea how ski boots work. And there's a specific sizing called Mondo. There was these are Mondo 26.5 Solomon ski boots, listed I think $54.99. I accepted an offer $40 plus shipping. At this point, like I said, I'm just breaking even, maybe. I don't know. It was definitely worth listing them the 3rd time and recouping losses, but are there any profits at this point? Probably not. And I paid, those came in a Macau mystery box. I paid less than $1. So cost of goods is whatever, but I've had to pay return shipping on them twice. They paid $22.15. So I might be losing money, but I'm not losing as much money by selling them again. But I think it's like a break-even point. But I guess Mondo is a type of sizing. And when we listed them the very first time, that's when Jen was still working in the garage, she just measured them, then looked up, like Googled it, like you would do on a pair of shoes where you can't read the size, measure them, look up what that transfers to a size. Ski boots, you can't do that because there's a bunch of extra plastic in here. You can't really tell exactly what the measurement was. And so the first time they get returned, they said they were too small. I had someone who was the size foot that we had it listed try them on, and they're like, oh, this is way too small. So I just increased the size. That was also wrong. Shouldn't have done that. Actually, let's make that tip of the day. It's been a while for a tip of the day. Tip of the day is, if you're not sure, don't make the listing live. It's not worth it. I have 2 examples. One, and the second one's just carelessness. The first one was a oversight on my confidence of the listing. But I listed those not knowing if it was right or not. So what was I doing? Taking a 50-50 shot? Don't do that. Thinking back, that was a very poor decision on Jen's part the first time, but I relisted them the second time. So poor decision on my part the second time. And then once I finally figured out, like, what is all this? And I actually took the time, I was like, oh, just don't put the shoe size in and just put in the sizing it's giving you, which is Mondo 26.5, written right on the boot. Take the other parts out of the listing that are confusing or wrong or inaccurate or whatever, however you want to put that. Don't put those in. If they get returned again, I'm going to burn them. Not really. It's a lot of plastic. I would never do that. And then the second example is the Pyrex bowl set. I got 2 of them at a garage sale recently, which I finally put out out in the wild garage sale video. I think I got a rhythm to editing it because that was always my issue of why I didn't do it, because the editing is just painful and tedious. I think what it came down to was be very liberal with the sections I chunk out. If all of a sudden I feel myself getting bored, that means that you probably would be bored. So I was cutting out 10-minute sections at a time. But that's not what I'm talking about. The Pyrex bowl sets that I got in that video, the primary one, and then the other one was Forest Fancies. If that's right, I think my memory is improving, but it might not be. But it's got mushrooms on it. And I did a sell similar of a listing that was bowls 402, 403, 404. I had bowls 401, 402, 403, which means it was missing the big bowl. If it had been the reverse, the buyer probably wouldn't have been mad. They probably would have been pleasantly surprised to have the more expensive bowls. But that wasn't the case. And so when they reached out, I checked the listing. I said, yeah, I'm sorry, that's my error. I would like to avoid doing a return. And I said because, you know, for the hassle of both of us, but the real reason is I don't believe that they would pack it in a way that would come back to me not broken. I 100% did not believe they would come back not broken, and then I'd have to work through, which at that point I wouldn't owe them a return, but I would have to go through eBay and do a bunch of things, and I would like to avoid the hassle. So I said, you think we could possibly, for both of our sakes, work out a deal and I give you a partial refund? And they responded, and I had taken an offer, 72 plus ship. They said, I'll do 50. And I was like, ugh, that's a decent chunk. But time, effort, the actual cost of having to pay the return shipping, because even though I don't offer free return shipping, if it's my fault and they want to make a stink about it, it's my fault. I should be paying that return shipping. You don't have to right away, but you should. So I did the math, kicked around in my head for a little bit, and I said, okay, that's fine. And I refunded them the $22 because that's still, I paid $5 for the set. I was like, okay, well, you're still making $40 on the deal after fees, somewhere in there, $35, $40. Just take your lump, have it be a reminder to double check, be sure. If it's a $9.99 free shipper, maybe work a little faster. But when you are working on the more expensive item, $54.99 for some ski boots, I think I list them $84.99 for the bowl set, be sure. Take the extra second, take the beat. I have to convince myself of that daily, to take a breath, take a second, make sure things are right. Save yourself the hassle in the long run. Next up, it's a pair of shoes, and it is this time of year. New Balance 619 right down here. The classic dad shoe. I bet these are covered in grass stains within the month. Actually, I have to cut the grass today. If those had been my size, I might have kept them. I don't know why, but these are small. Size 9, 9D with memory foam inserts. Maybe that's why they're so popular. I don't know. I think they're horribly ugly, but I think they're for a comfort factor, not so much the appeal of them. $32.99 plus shipping. I got those at Goodwill. Shoes are about the only thing I'll still buy at Goodwill if I happen to go there. I can usually find 1 or 2 pairs of shoes. So I would have paid either $4.99 or $6.99, but I think $4.99 on those. All right, next up, C1 is companion laser level C1 and safety glasses. Is that what I said? C1? Yes, I did. This is one of those items. This came in a Mikhail mystery box. There was no indication that this would ever sell. There was multiples listed. There was none sold. No sold comps, Terapeak, anything like that. So this is the type of item where if you are not, let me rephrase that. This is the type of item where the fewer items you list, the fewer items you sell, the fewer items like this you should have in your store, where there is no sell-through rate. There is no indication that will ever sell. Don't waste your time. Don't waste the space. But for me, I can take a shot because I'm not banking on this item selling. I'm banking on the other item selling, and this might sell in 2 years from now. I might be like, okay, it's been in the store long enough, and I put it in my garage sale for $1. But it also came in a Mikhail mystery box. It had a barcode. I scanned it, took cool pictures, and it worked out, kind of. $11.99 free shipping. So on this item, I will make a couple bucks. Next up, I went ahead and grabbed it ahead of time. It is 2003 Topps All-American 125 Jason Witten rookie card. The collegiate cards don't usually do too well, but Jason Witten, he's a, Hall of Famer, or soon to be Hall of Famer. He'll eventually, if he's not already, play for the Cowboys. That gives him a bonus. But card sellers drive me nuts. Because when I price comp that, I price mine at market value, $7.99 plus eBay standard envelope. And that was a few months ago, 3 months ago, something like that. And in that time, because when the offer came in for like $4, I went and price checked it. There were 5 more listed at what I ended up countering, $5 plus eBay standard envelope. With card sellers, there's this, and it happens with all sellers, but with cards, it is extreme. The race to the bottom. That is the dumbest thing ever. If you want to be the cheapest, that's fine. If the cheapest is $7.99 plus shipping, make yours $7.99 plus shipping. You're still the cheapest. Make yours $7.98 plus shipping, and then accept best offers if you really want to. But why would you remove your ability to make more money? And with a card, that's a significant amount, from $5 to $7.99. And like I said, I was match pricing the cheapest one when I listed it. Insanity. In 3 months, multiples had been listed for multiple dollars cheaper than they should have been. It's so stupid. I think half the time people just don't even price check. They just kind of like wing it. I don't know. I'm not going to go on a rant about it, but it's moronic. So I price checked and I matched the lowest, and they took it. So $5 plus eBay standard envelope. I'm happy with the sale. I'm just mad that other sellers are, I don't want to throw around words like moronic or stupid, misinformed. I'll go with misinformed. That sounds nice, right? Misinformed? That's a nice way to phrase it. The other option would be that they just don't know how sales work. So again, misinformed. That's a polite way. Don't got something nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So misinformed. I can't stand misinformed sellers. They should watch my channel. Next up, it's a book. Familiar is the word. Familiar Quotations. This big book. If I knew it was this big, I wouldn't have accepted the offer. I'll still make some money because the books were free. At least most of the books were free. $8 free shipping, medium mail. That'll be $5-ish to ship, even though it's medium mail, because that's probably a 2-pound plus, and they were free. So not great. And with the books, when I was listing them, if they were super cheap, I was still listing them, because once I had done the work to look them up and see how much they were worth, it was snap, done. You know, it wasn't extensive. There wasn't any cleaning to be done, anything like that. So most of the legwork was done researching. Then it's just a couple photos that's on the shelf. So $8 free shipping. I'm not pumped about it, but it is what it is. They're very easy to pack. Next up, kind of funny, the sale I bought this at, I was just at last weekend. It was the big community sale I went to. And the sale that I got this at, as I'm there, I remember going, oh yeah, this is the one where all their stuff was extremely overpriced, and I bought those records that were stupid. Why did I buy them? And I know why. It's because I was in the middle of nowhere and I couldn't look them up. But either way, this one sold and paid for all 3 that I bought. So I guess in the long run, it worked out. It is Muppets Take Manhattan music book. And you'll see I have a few of them here. They're new in package, but the plastic kind of let loose on some of them. They were all new. But this one right here, actually I must have bought 4 of them. I paid $1 a piece for them. So this one pays for all of them plus profit. So now the rest can sit around till the end of time. $14.99 free shipping. This will go media mail. I don't have this size record mailers. I do have the full-size record mailers. So for this, I will just wrap it in cardboard, kind of like a mailer, and then put it in a poly bag. Or I actually, because I'm going to put it in a poly bag, what I'll do is I will just slip a piece of cardboard on both sides to give it some rigidity, and then put it in a poly bag. And then here's the 2 that turned my whole day around. B3B is B3B. Oh, okay. B3B Vintage Jaguar. That's a very weird word. They are cufflinks. They should be easy to spot. They are red. These ones, orangish red. I think it's the bag making it look like that. But they are these ones right here. Gold-filled brown red. So yeah, it was a weird color. So when Jen listed that, she definitely also was struggling to name that color. Name that color. That sounds like a terrible game show. Actually, man, my brain works in weird ways. That could be a game show. There was a guy got kind of famous on maybe TikTok, and he would watch at a Home Depot or wherever where they mix paint. He would watch the colors that they would pour into the bucket, and he'd go, okay, it's pink and blue, and he would try to guess what the bucket ends up being, and he was good at it. He would nail it like, I don't know, 60% of the time. A lot more than I would. Mine would be 0, but he'd be like, okay, it's a drop of black, and then there's some red. He'd be like, okay, it's a mauve, and it would come out a mauve. So I guess that could be a game show. Back to the cufflinks. $39.99 free shipping. Love it. Love selling cufflinks. And then next up, B3E is a Jacob's Chuck. B3E. Back here. And I'm not going to get it out. Well, most people would probably know, but if you don't, it's a chuck is the thing that your drill bits go into on your drill. Nicer drills, they are removable and replaceable. Not like your, Ryobi's okay, but not like your generic Ryobi. But a nicer one, you can remove the chuck, replace it, or on something bigger like a drill press. Those things need to be, if you're working in like machining, they need to be removable, replaceable, they wear out, all that kind of stuff. $59.99 plus shipping. The buyer reached out and said, hey, do you ship to, and they gave me an address in Arizona. So I ship globally, so yes, that's basically what was just my message. And they said it's only showing local pickup. That just means they hadn't moved, probably on their phone, moved up a centimeter to see right below that, would have had shipping options. But local pickup has given me more issues than it has been beneficial. So I think I'm going to go back and change my shipping options to not have local pickup available. I used to get 2, 3 a year, and it would always be something like a DVD VCR combo, a small TV, and they would live somewhere in the area. Lots of times it would be seasonal people here that were camping or had like a summer home, and they want like a little TV for their camper or whatever. And that happened a few times. But many, many, many times, people have selected it in error. Oh, must be free shipping. They select it. So I'll take it off. And then if I notice somebody lives in the next town over, or they live in my town, I'll say, hey, you live 5 miles away from me. You could just pick this up and save yourself some money. I think that's the better option. I don't live in a populated area enough for it to matter. And in total, ever, less than 10. Maybe less than 5, but less than 10. So just to remove the, I don't know, the problem for buyers. Because that's the thing. It's been a frustration for buyers. I could easily just remove that and then not worry about it. I mean, I've considered removing international shipping just so I don't have to deal with that. Why wouldn't I consider removing the 1 to 2 extra sales a year from local pickup? And I've even sold stuff, not 1 town over, but maybe 2 towns over, a 20-minute drive. I've sold stuff that just goes across the Mackinac Bridge, which is, a 25-minute drive for me, something like that. But you got to go across a bridge. But the cost of gas, it's cheaper for me to ship these things than for them to come and pick it up. So just talked myself into it. I'll do that. I'll make a note. I'll get to it eventually. I'll make a note and do it at some point. All right, I'll throw this clip in somewhere, but chalk another one up for eBay. This, I haven't figured it out yet. If I do, I'll put that into, you can hear my attitude. I'm not super happy about it. So right here in this section where I should go be able to hit print shipping label, which I've printed shipping label for since the beginning of time, now says mark as shipped. And there, if I do the little drop down here, is there a print shipping label option there? Nope. Nope. Just so ludicrous. Honestly, how did this company make it this far? How didn't, I mean, it was eBay and Yahoo auctions, and would we be worse off with Yahoo auctions right now? I don't know. How are they surviving? I've been saying since day one when I started this channel that if another company really, they got a chance to eat eBay's lunch because they're just screwing everything up. Look at this. Where do I go to print my label now? I just said earlier in the video, you don't got something nice to say, don't say nothing at all. I don't got something nice to say, but I still got to say something. They're morons. Dumbest people ever. There we go. That's my anger for the day, rant. Hopefully over, because I'll figure it out. Hopefully. I don't know. Hopefully there's part 2 to this that lets you know where to print your labels now. All right, so first workaround I could find was in your seller hub orders, go to awaiting shipment, print shipping label, and then it pops up with your awaiting ship, print your shipping labels, blah, blah, blah. And then you can, from here, purchase shipping label, which I don't know. I'll have to double check to make sure that even works because, you know, my shipping weights and measurements aren't exact until I package the item. So, but I assume that that will work perfectly fine. But what about, I'm going to take a second for a breath. What about people that work with thousands of items that go out every day? These little changes aren't little. Or say you have employees. Say you got 2 employees and they do all your shipping for you. And you've taught them, this is the process. You click on this page, you click the print ship label, you pick the item, you pack it, da-da-da-da-da. You have a process for that. And then they just, no, we're just going to move. We're going to move this. We're not going to tell you about it. We're going to let you discover it organically and figure it out on your own. Just stupid. Okay. Because the person I am, I couldn't let it go. It looks like to continue doing my orders how I like to, it's an additional 3 clicks every single order. People are like, okay, whatever, you know, 3 clicks, whatever. So that's 3 seconds of my life, every order. So say I have 5 sales a day. Okay, 3 times 5, everybody knows that is 15. Okay, so now times 365 days a year times 365 equals 5,475 seconds a year. Divide that out by 60 to get that into minutes. That is 91.25 minutes a year. That's an hour and a half out of my year because eBay felt like changing something that worked great. It was great. I loved it. That's exactly how I like to do it. I'm used to it. And all the things. An hour and a half. It's these little tiny things that seem like maybe they're nothing. They're not nothing. That's an hour and a half of my life. Extrapolate that over a 10-year period. Times 10 equals, let's get that into hours. Divided by 60 again. That is over a 10-year period, 15 and a half hours roughly. That's a day. So I over a 10-year period, an entire work day, that's more than work. Two work days worth of work over a 10-year period that could generate this platform more money. I'm sure I'll figure out a better way or something. I'm sure, or somebody will say, oh no, Drew, just do this and it'll work. You know, maybe that'll happen. But for now, colossal waste of my time. Thank you again, eBay. Looking out for the little guy. Well, that's going to be all for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. Subscribe, share, and be good to each other. Just really neat. Hey, little geek. Do they ever really fix things? I have no idea what this is. What do I care? Let go. I'm good at this.